Supreme Court blocks restrictive Louisiana abortion law by 5-4 vote as Roberts joins Liberals' loss. The Supreme Court on Thursday temporarily blocked a Louisiana abortion regulation that was expected to close all but one or two of the abortion clinics in the state. The case, June Medical Services vs. G. has been. The decision came on 5-4 vote. It was the latest. The justices acted on an emergency appeal filed by abortion rights advocates who accused the conservative U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans of upholding a regulatory law in Louisiana that was nearly identical to a Texas law that the High Court struck down in 2016. The justices agreed to put the law on hold while lawyers for the Center for Reproductive Rights prepare an appeal that seeks a review of the Fifth Circuit's ruling. 3 years ago, and did so by a 5-3 vote with Justice Anthony M. Kennedy in the majority. The court's opinion, the decision in the Texas case, was handed down a few months after Justice Antonin Scalia died. Dissenting then were, including even the landmark Roe v. Wade. The key issue in the Louisiana case is a provision that requires every physician who performs abortions to have active admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles. A federal judge had blocked the Louisiana law after finding that only 2 of 6 abortion doctors said they were able to obtain the required admitting privilege. They said hospitals, but last year, the Fifth Circuit reversed the judge's ruling by a 2-1 vote and upheld the law. Judge Jerry E. Smith, writing for the appeals court, said the situation in Louisiana was remarkably different than in Texas, and as a result, enforcing the admitting privilege rule would not have a significant effect on most women who seek an abortion. He agreed the rule. He concluded that because 1 or 2 clinics would remain in operation, the overall effect on women seeking an abortion would not be substantial. In his analysis, the ruling prompted unusually strong dissents from others on the Fifth Circuit. Judge Patrick Hick, the dissenters said the 2-1 ruling should be reconsidered by the full Fifth Circuit, but that move failed on a 9-6 vote. The majority 2 weeks ago, lawyers for the Center for Reproductive Rights filed an emergency appeal asking the High Court to again put the law on hold. The Health Right, Nancy Northup, the group's president, said the Fifth Circuit had brazenly ignored recent U.S. Supreme Court precedent squarely on point. Late Thursday, she praised the High Court's decision. The Supreme Court has stepped in under the wire to protect the rights of Louisiana women, Northup said. The 3 clinics by blocking the law on a temporary basis, the court will keep the dispute on hold for months or perhaps more than a year. The justices will. Kavanaugh filed a dissent, arguing the law should not be blocked based on a prediction regarding its effects. He said the evidence.
Raindrops.